Boom! What's going on, everyone? It's Steve Larson from Secret MLM Hacks Radio, and today I'm going to teach you guys about how to publish your MLM journey. If you're like me, you know MLM is an amazing opportunity to grow a real asset for yourself. But you also see that there's huge issues starting to emerge. Like, why haven't big MLMs let tactics change in over 30 years? Or why have they been cutting commissions smaller and smaller? Or even, how dumb is it that old MLM rules say you'll get in trouble when you use the internet to grow your team? These are some of the blaring questions we all face today. This podcast will show you how real MLMers like us are waging war on the old dying methods. And we aren't cheating by only bugging uninterested family and friends. Follow this podcast while I expose the shocking methods I'm using to build my 10,000 person downline and get people begging to join my team daily. Here's to the new tactics without all those old, rusty MLM shackles. My name is Steve Larson, and welcome to Secret MLM Hacks Radio. What's up, guys? Hey, for this episode, what I decided to do, and a few episodes are going to be this way, just so you know, I have a group, I have a program called Secret MLM Hacks. It is the program that is actually in companion to Secret MLM Hacks Radio. And a lot of the episodes that I'll have here, like if there's something that was really, really helpful to that group, what we've done, what my team has done is we've chopped out part of like the Q&A section, okay, and the person's question as well as my response to them. And I think it could be helpful to see it that way, so you can see, like, in the middle of coaching. First of all, some of the things that people get inside of the program, Secret MLM Hacks. If you want to, you can go check out actually secretmlmhacks.com. There's a quiz that will help you see if you're actually on the journey to actually having success in the game, which is a lot of fun. But anyway, inside the program though, every week, typically, there is unless I'm like sick or traveling, there is a Q&A section where they can get on and ask whatever questions they want. They're live with me, and it's a bunch of fun. I love doing it with them. So anyways, inside this episode, someone asked the question. You guys know I talk a lot about publishing. I love publishing. I remember the first time I was going to go and I was going to start podcasting, I did not want to do it, right? The first time some guy, it was Russell Brunson at ClickFunnels. He was like, all of you guys need to be publishing. And I was like, no. And I went and I got hired to work and sit next to him, and he was over and he would have his phone over on the side. And keep in mind, I mean, I was literally sitting next to him, okay, about an arm's length away. We sat back to back, and he would be every day, the CEO of $100 million company at that time. It's even more now. They're $100 million. He was spending every day documenting what he was doing. And sometimes, I mean, he moves really, really quickly, but sometimes we'd move a little bit slower just so that he could document what he was doing. And I was like, this is really weird, right? And he'd have his phone up and he'd be like, what's up, everyone? It's Russell Brunson, right? And then we'd come over here to his podcast on his mic. And what's going on, everyone? It's Russell Brunson. And then go over to his blog. What's up, everyone? It's Russell Brunson. And I was like, why is the CEO of a company doing that? And as you look around, what I started realizing and seeing is that because he was documenting his journey, because he was teaching what he was doing as he was doing it, it was fun because he brought people with him, right? And so he could talk to specific groups of people and be like, oh, you have that desire? Oh, you want to do that? Oh, you want to do this? Come with me, right? This is what I'm doing. You can follow me as I'm doing it. And you know what? Actually could keep you from hitting some of the same pitfalls I've gone into, or you could go, right? And it was cool. He actually built so much more affinity with his group and his following because he documented the journey. And what's cool is that he didn't wait. Okay, well, one of the biggest issues I see when people start putting together some kind of podcast, or if you're an MLM, it is so easy to create content. Just so you know, super fast. Like within the first few months, I was in the top 10 of all of MLM on iTunes, right? If you go to iTunes, you type in MLM. This podcast, I think, is like number 5 or 6 now. But like in the first like 4 months, super fast, boom, in the top 10 on all of iTunes. Why? Because no one in MLM does it. You want to recruit more people? Publish. Okay, speak, talk. Okay, it has to do a little bit about what I was talking about yesterday, or last episode, right? Going in and showing how, like, look, whoever controls content, whoever controls stories, controls belief. So I want you guys to know, like, I am a huge, right? That's why we've spent so much time rebuilding the whole content machine that you guys are now seeing and experiencing. It is really, really awesome. But I want to cut over to a Q&A that I had. It's like a few minutes long, but a question somebody had about, hey, Okay, Steven, you said to publish, you said to podcast or be on a blog. I don't care what platform you choose. How many of you guys like to read blogs? Congratulations, you're all bloggers, right? How many of you guys like to listen to a podcast? Congratulations, you're all podcasters now. How many of you guys like to make videos? Sweet, you're all videographers now, and you're gonna do Facebook Lives the rest of your life. What I want you to do is understand that if you can sit down and marry a platform and choose to document your journey, okay, you're going to recruit way more people than the average person is ever going to. Way more, way more. Okay, I was talking to the president of an MLM, and he said the average person recruits 2.3 people, which is why a lot of MLMs say, if you can get 3, we'll give you these cool bonuses, because it means you're above average. Guys, you'll recruit 3 a freaking week, okay, if you just choose to regularly publish somewhere. Okay, I can't guarantee that, but like, it's not abnormal either, okay? That's way lower than what I'm doing, and I want you to know that, okay? And so if you just do like haphazardly, so the question usually becomes after I say that to somebody and after somebody agrees or someone starts to see, you know what? Okay, I get it. Steven, you're right. I should start publishing. The question that I see people have most at that point is, okay, what do I podcast about? Or what do I publish about? And so that's what this episode is about, and you're going to see how I answer that same question that somebody inside my group had. So we're going to cut over there right now. I'm very excited for you guys to be here, and you guys to see that you'll hear the question and my answer to that. What do I publish about? How do I do that? How do I document the journey? What am I talking? Am I talking about the business, or am I talking about the product? Am I talking about something external? Do I need to brand it as an MLM-based thing? Do I need to brand it as like my own identity? I get those questions a lot, so I thought I might as well make it an episode here. Excited to have you guys. Thanks so much for joining me. Let's cut over there now.
Bill said, so is our publishing more about the MLM product or the business of building an MLM team / downline? So Bill, that's a great question. So you want to know if you're publishing more about building a team versus the MLM versus the product. And in my mind, it's all of it. Okay. So what I do is, I was mowing the lawn last summer. Okay, I was mowing the lawn. This is one of the major reasons why I started the MLM podcast. As I was mowing the lawn, I usually listen to some kind of podcast or something like that. I was mowing the lawn, doing some yard work. I love that kind of stuff. It's kind of therapeutic, you know. And as I was out there and as I was doing it, I was listening to this podcast describe their whole product without them having the product done. It was really fascinating. I was sitting out there and the first episode was like, hey, yeah, first we got this done, and then we got this done, and by the way, here comes the launch on this date. And I was like, huh, interesting. And the next episode of this podcast was building on the last one. Hey, remember how we said this last time? Hey, this time now we built this feature and this feature and this feature and this feature. And it was fascinating to think through and go through it. And I realized after listening to a whole bunch of them, these guys were talking about stuff that was not even out yet. And what it was doing was by episode 10, 15, 20ish, whatever it was, I started getting this massive draw in my head. I wanted to have the products that they were talking about so badly, and they weren't even built. What they were doing is they were documenting their journey. That's it. And the light bulbs on my head just exploded, and I was like, whoa, holy crap. You mean I don't have to be here to start publishing? You mean I can just be 2 or 3 steps ahead of everyone else? You know what I mean? Please understand that what you guys bought here and what I'm doing here, I am definitely, I'm killing it. I'm not just a couple steps ahead, just, you know. But as far as publishing goes, I started going out and I started just documenting my journey, documenting the journey of the creation of the thing, okay? Fascinating thing about the show Seinfeld is that if you listen to a lot of the interviews about the producers, they talk about how funny it is that they successfully pulled off a show about nothing. Okay, that's why they did all of it. They wanted to pull off a show about nothing. People will tune in to stuff that is just story based for nothing, for no reason. As long as there's a plot, a character, and a conflict, that's it. That's what makes a story. A plot, a character, a conflict. So when you go through, I saw someone mentioning, they're like, oh, we're going to go out and we're going to be competing with Steven by publishing, by choosing a podcast, by whatever it is. Let me make this very clear. No, you're not. Okay? If you still want to do a podcast, or you want to do whatever you decide to publish on, it doesn't matter. Your attractive character will attract different types of people to you than me. I completely understand that I attract people and repel people. Okay, there might be people who are like, oh man, I hate listening to guys who wear collared shirts and have oversized, gigantic eyeballs the size of globes. Right? I know that. There are things that I say that I repel people with. I get it. Okay? And that I try to. Okay? It's not that I'm trying to push people away, but I am trying to draw lines in the sand. And if you can go out, and what I do ask is that you don't do a play off of my name. Okay? Secret MLM Hacks Radio. Please don't do a play off of my name. Come up with your own name and stuff like that. That always drives me a little bit crazy. Or if they use the same kinds of images, or it's like painstakingly clear that there was no other thought or effort put into putting out their own show except to just take my stuff. You know what I mean? You guys know what I mean, right? Make up your own stuff. Be your own brand. Otherwise, what ends up happening is you end up looking like a mini-me, and you never quite... I'm trying to help you guys become a peak and a pillar in your own thing. Okay, a peak and a pillar in your own thing. And if you look, take this for example. Okay, how many Mac versus PC commercials do you guys see out there anymore? Go ahead and I would love to know. Like, go drop them in the chat or in the comments. How many Mac versus PC commercials do you guys see out there? Not many, right? Why? It's because Mac on a consumer level has passed PC. How many times do you see Russell? Yeah, Jonas says 0. Absolutely. How many to follow the process structure? Don't just photocopy. Exactly. It's exactly, Jared, 100%. Okay. How many times do you guys see, how many guys do you see Russell, Russell and I stopped talking about lead pages. Okay. Why? Because we knew we passed them. So one of the easiest ways in this game, not many now, Matt crushed them. Exactly. That's exactly the point. That's what exactly I'm trying to make here. Okay. Don't do a play. I'm not just saying because like, oh, it's Steven and I'm sensitive, don't take my brand. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that if you choose me as the thing you're trying to pass by, and I'm the brand that you try and pass by, which is fine, okay? It gets weird because you end up taking me with you as you pass me. And I hope every one of you guys, it's the hope of every master, if I want to call myself that the Padawan would pass him, right? Okay. The reason why you stop talking about the person as you pass him is because if you keep talking about him, you take him with you. Okay? Does that make sense as I'm starting to say this? In the love with the process, not your thing. Exactly, 100%. So I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say with that, is that if you decide, don't do a play off my name, because hopefully you go blow up and you will just take me with you, which thank you very much. I appreciate that. If you want to do that, that's great. But it's the reason why ClickFunnels now throws rocks and fights against and directly pits against Infusionsoft. Okay? And once they pass the Infusionsoft, they're going to stop talking about them. Okay? So that's how brand, it's one of the easiest ways for you to blow up. Okay? So what I did is I took my content and I pit directly against an ideal. And the ideal that I pit against, that I throw rocks at, is the ideal that you must talk to your friends and family in order to be successful in MLM. Okay? So I didn't necessarily pit against a person, but I pit against what I knew is generically accepted as the only strategy to be successful at this game. Okay? And that is why my brand cuts like a knife in the MLM industry. That and the fact that I'm also in MLM. I don't just teach it. I'm in it. Okay? Does that make sense? So choose an ideal. Pitch yourself directly against something that is out there. It doesn't necessarily need to be a company. Don't do it against a person. That's when it gets kind of dirty and people get a little, we've had companies call and be like, why are you fighting us? Meh. Like, we're not fighting you. We're fighting your company. Okay? Don't pit against the person. But pit against a company. Pit against an ideal. Or an idea, something that is commonly seen and accepted that is out there as the thing that people are convinced that they should be doing to get the result that they want. Does that make sense? And when you pit against that, you cut like a knife in an industry. So that's exactly how I did it, you guys. You'll notice that in my podcast cover, I'm not wearing a shirt or a tie. I'm not looking all pro. In fact, I'm wearing this shirt actually with that I'm looking away, right? It's to if I can get the little. It's the ball and chain. What? Why would I do MLM? Are you kidding me? Wait, but I'm promoting MLM. What? Oh, yeah, that's why I'm doing that. Is because it's even in my podcast intro. My podcast intro pits directly against guy. I throw rocks at the mentality. We didn't cheat like the people who only talk to their family members and friends. Whoa. Okay. that's a little bit of contention, but I do it on purpose. So what I'm trying to tell you to do is like, please understand that I know some of you guys have been like, I don't want to compete with Steven by being also doing an MLM podcast. You're not going to, okay? You have your own attractive character. You have your own stories. Don't use my stories, use yours, right? And if you're like, I'm not up here yet, don't even worry about it. I released 50 episodes of my podcast before I ever had the product even out. 50. How? By documenting the journey. Guys, you know what? I just want to tell you a little bit more about why I'm in this MLM game. I want to tell you a little bit more about why I'm doing X, Y, and Z. And you go into the story. That's it. There's no pitch, nothing else, right? Just helping, right? You're playing off of the 9 mental triggers, one of them being reciprocity, which you go through inside the course, right? So that's all I'm trying to help you guys understand is like, you're not fighting against me by having your own MLM podcast. In fact, I encourage you to do so. Or if you choose to, in fact, here's my podcasting mic right here. Right. In fact, I encourage you to do so, whether it's a podcast or a blog or what, it doesn't matter, whatever it is, just marry your thing and choose to do it once per week for basically the rest of your life. It'll change that alone. You could screw up 90% of the strategies that I teach you. You screw up, and as long as you're publishing, you'll still come out at the other side with way more money than the majority of people. Just because you're publishing, it makes you an authority really, really quickly. So just know that, okay? That you're not. I'm not offended by it. You're not. You're not. You know, the thing that kind of irks me a little bit is that when I can tell that, okay, there's no thought to this person's branding except to just take on what I did. Like, okay, come on. Okay, that's the part that kind of gets me a little bit. So anyway, just understand that. Anyway, so. When Bill says, are we publishing about our MLM, our product, or a downline or whatever, I'd say just your journey. People want to follow an attractive character, and you will develop as a storyteller and an attractive character if you just document whatever it is that you're doing. Does that make sense? So you can go out there and say, like, hey, this is what I'm doing on MLM right now. This is the strategy I'm doing right now. You got to understand with this that Superman, like I was saying in the modules, Superman's only interesting because kryptonite exists. Okay, so don't go out acting like Superman and not have any kryptonite. Go out. That's what makes an attractive character, right? Flaws, conflict, internally, externally, all that's what develops an actual attractive character. So go out and publish what things are kind of frustrating you. Like this, I published the other day. Look, I literally went and I was running up the stairs chasing my little girl. I tripped up the stairs and I broke my toe. Which is true. I had something messed up to it. It's not supposed to be that color. but I'm open about that. Here's another story. So you guys ready for this? Here's some open flaws. Okay, ready for this? I was on stage last week a lot. And the last 2 weeks I have been at multiple events. And I've been speaking like crazy. And I was on stage and I was getting excited. And I'm always excited. And I was jumping around. I was like, guys, blah, blah, blah. And I was going around and they were getting excited too. And I was teaching some stuff and I could see ahas happening in their eyes. I love that. That's one of my favorite things about teaching. I could see that they were getting it. I was like, oh, that's like my mental jollies for when I speak, okay? And I was pumped. And the pants that I was wearing kind of ride a little bit low on my waist, okay? And I jumped and I like squatted down and I felt this little and I ripped my pants like right at my butt pocket. Okay, and no one knew. I didn't tell it to anybody, and I was like, whoa! And I didn't say anything, and I didn't know how bad it was, and they were recording it, and the cameras are going, and there's like all these people that paid a bunch of money, and I don't know what's going on back there. I just know it's getting a bit drafty, okay? And so I'm walking around, and I'm like not turning my back to anyone anymore because I got my whiteboard and I'm drawing on it, but I don't turn around and write on it anymore. I'm like leaning around, so I'm not turning around. And I go and I call a break and I grab one of my buddies. Is like, dude, I'm gonna ask you to be a bro right here. You gotta look at my pants, man. And so I had precariously straight posture the rest of the time because my shirt tail covered it just fine as long as I stayed with perfect posture for like 5 more hours. Okay, I'm going to publish that story. It will be an actual podcast. Why? Because one of the ways that you develop attractive character. One of the ways people like you as the attractive character is you need to develop rapport with people. How do you do it? Okay, there's 5 ways. You got to be likable, funny. You need to be a victim. You need to be in jeopardy. I can't remember what the 5th one is, okay? But if you get 2 of the 5, that is when you actually have rapport with an individual. How many of you guys saw Star Wars? this new Star Wars movie that popped out. You guys want to know what was wrong with it? This went through my head while I was watching it. I'm obsessed with story structure, and I know what was wrong with that movie. Okay, I'm watching Star Wars, and I've got all these characters I'm watching. I don't know any backstory on them. I have no rapport with them. Therefore, I don't care about them. Okay, that's the exact same thing. So as you go out, guys, publishing is like one of the most key, crucial things that I could teach you in this entire course. All of it. I know I've got awesome systems, I got awesome funnels, I got awesome structure, I got great things for you, but my gosh, if you just publish and you learn how to tell stories and be an attractive character, your world will explode, okay? So I'm going to go out because I need to develop additional rapport. So anyways, just learn how to do that, okay? That was a really long answer. I got to go. Boom, was that awesome? Hey, please remember to rate and subscribe on iTunes. That means a lot to me. Hey, the most frustrating part for me at the beginning of all of this was not knowing who I could ask questions to when I had them. If you have a question that could benefit everybody and you want it answered live on the show, this show, visit secretmlmhacksradio.com to submit your question straight from your browser. Again, that's secretmlmhacksradio.com.